Hello my YouTube beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a new series here on my channel. It'll go up every Saturday during February. And this is going to be a forgotten products tutorial. I'm going to be using all products that are really great, but I've kind of been forgot about. These are products that a lot of YouTubers used back in the day that were really good. I still think all of these products rock, but it's so easy to get caught up in all the new launches, all the new releases from makeup brands that you forget about some of the things that you really do love. I wanted to do a tutorial using all older but really great products. So the first thing I'm going to use is this Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer. This is the smoothing one. I have not heard anyone talk about this in the last maybe year or two. This is great. I hate the packaging. It has this tiny little thing and you have to really squeeze the crap out of it to get the product out. There's not really a whole lot in there. I should probably put my hair back. This one is great. I don't like the packaging. I think this little end right here is stupid and it makes it really hard to press the product out. Overall, I do notice a big difference in my pores right here, and just having them smoothed in a little bit, my skin looks a little softer after I use this primer. For foundation, I'm going to use the Revlon ColorStay. Haven't heard anyone talk about this in ever, but this is a great drugstore foundation. I spoke about it in some of my drugstore related videos back in January, and this is great. It's a little heavier. It's definitely more full coverage. Take a little on the back of my hand and just start working this into the skin. A little goes a very long way with this foundation, and it's almost like instantly full coverage. This is a great foundation for people with oily skin because it will keep you matte all day long. I do prefer this foundation with a sponge just because it kind of takes away that heaviness a little bit, but the coverage doesn't like lack when you're using a sponge. It is still very high coverage. I don't really have a concealer that I can think of that people don't talk about anymore. I still hear people talking about the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, so that's probably what I'm going to use today. People still do talk about this. I think it's not nearly as talked about as it should be. It's a really good concealer. The only thing is, because this packaging is so small, I feel like you go through the product pretty quickly. It is a drugstore concealer, so it's not really that expensive to go buy a new one. A powder I never hear people talk about anymore is this MAC Mineralize Skin Finish. I think Kathleen Side said the Wet n Wild powder is very similar, so I'll have to try that. I have not tried it, but you can see I've used this a ton. You can even start seeing the actual pan in there, but I'm going to use this. It's not really going to mattify your skin. It's just a nice skin setting powder, but I remember everyone used to be obsessed with this, but it's just a good setting powder. I don't find that it really keeps me more matte than some of my other powders, but it does give your skin a very nice, pretty, like natural finish. And it's nice to go back to the pressed powders because sometimes the loose powders get just messy and unnecessary. I wish that the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder came in like a pressed powder version. The foundation stuck on my lips bothers the crap out of me. For bronzer, I'm going to take this Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. This is the medium deep one. This smells like chocolate. So I'm going to take the Chocolate Soleil bronzer. This is really great. It is very pigmented, as you can see. You just take a very light hand. I think the lighter one is less pigmented. It defines your face really nicely, and I really like the undertone in it. And it smells like chocolate. I mean, you can't really go wrong. The blush I'm going to go in with is the Milani Luminoso. I've used it so much you can't even tell what the product is because it is rubbed off of the front. I mean, everyone and their mothers used to use this, and it's still really pretty. I think people are more obsessed now with the brand new blushes that came out from them. They're like Rose one, and there's a couple other ones that they came out with. So this one's just kind of gone unnoticed, but it provides a really nice sheen and glow to the face. So here's my highlighter. It's Max Mineralized Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle. This is a good highlighter. I wouldn't say that it's my favorite because it is pretty glittery. If you don't like that look, you probably won't like this one, and it is very pigmented. For eyebrows, I don't really have an older product to talk about. I guess I could use these two. This one really isn't an older product, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about the Brow Wiz anymore. So I'm gonna do this and then set it with a tinted gel brow mascara that I hear no one talking about. This might not be like an oldie because I don't know if I've ever heard people talk about this one, but I really like it. I hate doing my brows. I feel like they always look so choppy. I just don't have the patience for them. Like, I don't know how people just sit here and carve out their eyebrows for an hour. I just want something to be simple and quick. I wish there was like an all-in-one magic eyebrow product. I do use the brow gel from Anastasia. I like it. I think the shade's a little dark for me right now. And I'm going to take this Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara. No one talks about this. This used to be only what I set my brows with. I would go in with the Brow Wiz and then set it with this. And this just really holds your brows in place. And I like the tint to it because it just makes your eyebrows look a little more uniform. If you like thicker looking brows, this would be a good product for you because it does have those little fibers in it. Yeah, good enough. This is a really good alternative to the Anastasia brow gel, and it's like $3. So next we're gonna go into eyes. I'm gonna use this Lorac Pro eyeshadow primer. The text is like all off of this thing. I've used it so much. This I never really heard talked about, but it has a light tint to it. So when you put it on your lid, this acts as a base for your eyeshadow. It is a little, I think, like wet and watery. It is a very good eyeshadow primer. Also, I feel like no one really uses eyeshadow primer anymore. They only use their concealer. I don't ever find great results when I use a concealer. Even if I use the Tarte Shape Tape, I still feel like using an actual primer works way better. I'm going to take that MAC Mineralized Skin Finish and just set this down. For the eyeshadow palette today, I'm going to use the Naked 3 palette. Chris has gotten me so many Naked palettes, and I go to a warm fuzzy spot when I use Naked palettes because he's got them for me for gifts. This is what the palette looks like. It has some of those really nice rosy tones in there, and I hear no one talking about this anymore. It kind of was a thing, but then it kind of wasn't, and it just kind of faded away. I think that the shadows could be a little more pigmented. I have to go in with a pretty heavy hand to get some of the matte shades to show up. I'm taking the shade Limit right here and putting this in my crease. Next, I'm going to take the shade Mooner. It's a little bit of a darker crease shade. I'm focusing this a little bit more on my outer V and bringing it up into the crease a little bit. Even though it takes a little while to build these shadows up, the nice thing is if you're new to makeup or are just kind of hesitant with going in with super pigmented shadows, it's really hard to mess eyeshadow looks up when they're not super pigmented. Like, you're not gonna make a mistake and go like this and have this really, really pigmented dot of eyeshadow on your eye. I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Dark Side and put this in the outer V. For the lid shade, I might do the shade Buzz. It is a pink shade right here. Taking that on my finger because some of these are very dry, shimmery shades. Again, you kind of have to have a heavy hand with this shade as well. And I might even add a little bit of the gold shade right next to it. It's called Trick. So it's not so like pink. The nice thing about these eyeshadows is they don't have a whole lot of fallout, so I can do the rest of my face first and not worry about the fallout. I'm just taking that Dark Side shade one last time and putting that in the outer V because I feel like when we put the shimmer shade on, it kind of went away. And underneath my lid, I'm going to take maybe a little bit of dark side right there. Put that really close to my lash line. Then I'm just going to blend it out with the darker crease shade that we used earlier in the crease, and it's called Nooner. Cool, so I'm going to put some liner and mascara on, and I'll be right back. So here's the final look on the eyes. I think it turned out really nicely. I forgot how much I loved just a simple pink gold look. I just added some black liner on the bottom lashes, and then I just added some mascara to top and bottom lashes. I always use the CoverGirl Lash Blast Fusion mascara. Any other high-end mascara does not ever beat this, and this is what the wand looks like. But yes, this is the only mascara I use in like every video. For lipstick, I'm going to use the BUXOM Bold Gel Lipstick. This is the matte formula, and it's in Sinful Cinnamon. I don't hear anyone talking about these, but these are freaking amazing. I love the formula of this, and the color is just like perfect, and they smell pretty good. So here's the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, taking it back to a couple really good forgotten about products. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on my future videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!